And when we move those down and we reduce the size of the federal government, the amount of money we'll save reducing the bureaucracy in the federal government is going to be huge. When we do that, making sure they know the best ways to use those resources. So I'll give you two examples. In South Carolina, I told you we had thousands of people on welfare. And a lot of times, these were generational welfare recipients. Their parents had been on welfare, their grandparents had been on welfare, very much like what you're talking about, where people weren't doing their part. And so
okay, this is GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley speaking live right now to voters in Cedar Rapids, Iowa tonight. And this is because we're now just 16 days out from the Iowa caucuses, when Republican voters will make their pick for the party's nominee. And several candidates are in the Hawkeye State today, as they are looking to catch former President Donald Trump at the top of the polls. NewsNation campaign correspondent Libbey Dean live for us in Cedar Rapids tonight. Libby?
Natasha, time is running out for these candidates to make an impression on Iowans here. And Nikki Haley is working to do that tonight. She held a town hall in the building behind me, and she had a good crowd at that town hall. And as she seems to be gaining momentum with the voters, she also seems to be gaining the attention of her 2024 opponents. Former Ambassador Nikki Haley aiming to score points with Iowans Saturday. Today's visit comes as Haley seeks to knock off former President Trump, who still leads the rest of the field by more than 30 points in Iowa, as well as Governor DeSantis, who said this week Haley's playing for number 2 in the White House, not Iowa.
She's supposedly the darling of the never-Trumpers, and yet she won't say definitively that she would not, under any circumstances, accept the VP slot from Trump.
The Trump campaign not wasting any time to distance the former president from Haley, sending out this email yesterday, criticizing tax increases under Haley, saying her shameful record as governor has now been exposed, and voters are witnessing who she really is. The former president will be back in Iowa next week as he continues to fight legal battles, his opponents making clear this week they would pardon him if he was convicted.
I would pardon Trump. A leader needs to think about what's in the best interest of the country. What's in the best interest of the country is not to have an 80-year-old man sitting in jail that continues to divide our country. What's in the best interest of the country would be to pardon him so that we can move on as a country and no longer talk about him.
So would you?
I've said that months ago. Yeah,
you would?
Yeah, I've said that months ago.
Now you just heard from Haley and DeSantis commit to pardon the former president if he's convicted. But in order for them to even be able to do that, they would first need to win the Republican nomination. And that nomination process kicks into high gear just in a few weeks with the Iowa caucuses on January 15th. Natasha?
And time is running out. Libbey Dean in Iowa, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.